everywhere we are seeing like there is public, there is static. Okay, what are these? Okay, let us try to understand that. We have public, we also have other such modifiers that we can use. So let us quickly understand what those are. So this public is nothing but, okay, it is nothing but an access modifier. And access modifiers are basically tell us who can access our class, okay, which parts of our code are accessible and how they are accessible to others. And basically we have in Java, we have three main access modifiers. The first being that we have already seen, public. Okay, this, whenever we write on a class or a method, it is accessible from anywhere in your code. Okay, anywhere in your code. And when you give as the second one is a private. Okay, so private, you cannot access from anywhere, but only within the class. Only within the class. Okay, within the class, I mean, if you have attributes as private, so only the methods within the class will be able to access them. Okay, if you have a method private, only other methods in the class can access that method. Okay, no other classes will not be able to access those attributes or methods. And then the third one is protected. So what do we mean by protected is call something as inheritance. Okay, as we have already seen our test class, we told that it is a child class of object class, we mentioned, right. So whatever access modifiers the methods of this object has, so this test class will inherit them, and those methods will have the protected modifiers. So you will understand better when we learn about inheritance. Okay, the fourth one, which is like the default, like if we don't declare even public, private or protected, even public if we don't declare, then we can call it as a default. We don't write the keyword default, but if we just don't mention anything, it is default, and that means it is package level. Okay, within that folder, whatever classes are there, they can access it. Okay, and protected, what it is package plus kids. Okay, package plus kids. Just remember this, default would be package, protected is package plus kids. So when we understand inheritance, then we'll understand better on what this protected modifier is. And apart from access modifiers, we also have non-access modifiers. So what do we mean by non-access modifiers? Okay, access modifiers, so suppose you have some dishes. Okay, uh, so access modifiers are like who can eat the dish, right? Who is allowed to eat the dish? Is either everyone is allowed or only few people are allowed, right? And non-access modifiers are like spices in the dish. Okay, so we have basically we have four of them, static being one. My handwriting. Okay, static. And then we have final. So static, okay, let me first mention all of them. Synchronized, and then abstract. So static is nothing but these are the regular ingredients that are common for all the recipes you can consider. Okay, so whatever objects you create, for all the objects of that class, this will be same. Okay, it is nothing like newly created, this will be same. Okay, it is static, it is associated with the class, it is not associated with any instance of the class. Okay, so that's why it will be applied across all the instances in the same manner. Now when we say final, so suppose it is like we cannot change it, as the name suggests, we cannot change it. So once if we assign something, once if we declare something, okay, then we cannot change it further in the program. Okay, it is final, or the class is final, we cannot create child classes of it. Okay, in that way, static, final, right? And then synchronize. So suppose there are two chefs and both of them wants to use the same oven for baking something, right? Can they both do it together? No, if it is a small one, right? And if they have different temperature and time requirements, it's not possible. But then the oven is one. So then this is like one by one. So whatever is the method, one by one they can access it, not two people together on the same object. Okay, and then abstract. So this is like the dish is prepared, but something is incomplete. Okay, there are things that need to be added while eating to make it complete. So that kind of. So abstract is like incomplete and something has to be done to complete it. Okay, so these are basically access modifiers and non-access modifiers. So now if we see these, okay, so suppose if I change this public to private, you will immediately see the error in here. Okay, because this class doesn't know what is this. Okay, this is private only here, and you can call this from here. Okay, like this, pass the same model and some random year. Okay, so this constructor is able to access this private constructor, right? This is public, that, and this is the member of the same class, right? So then it can access the private things, but then this private cannot be accessed outside the class. Okay, so now let me change it to protected. Okay, protected, it is able to access. Why is it able to access? Because if you see, they are in the same package com.test. Okay, so in the same package they can access, as we told. And if there are in a, if one is the child of other and the child is in a different package, then also it will be accessible. That is package plus kids when it comes to inheritance. Okay, and then default, by default we mean we are not specifying anything. So here also it will be a package level, right? So suppose if I create a new package here, okay, let me use my name. Okay, if I move this, okay, so now this is not accessible because this is in a different package, right? This is default and in a different package, so it will not be accessible. And if I make this car as a child class and that we make like this, okay, if you also see, we are having some import statements. That means we are importing from one package to the other, right? Okay, it is a default, so default is within the package, and if we make this as protected, it will be accessible.